Saving our memory lane.
Get ready!
And here we have Chuck Norris Super Kicks, if you want to kick ass. Chuck Norris game, well, here it is. Chuck Norris Super Kicks on the Atari 2600. Got some pretty cool imagery right there on the cartridge. It's a Zonix cartridge. Pretty cool looking cartridge. You have Chuck Norris right there on the bottom, kicking someone right there in the stomach. And you have some nunchucks. And you have Chuck Norris punching the thin air right there, just punching you in the face. Alright, let's head over to the Atari and let's play Chuck Norris Super Kicks. And here we have Chuck Norris Super Kicks on the Atari 2600. It's programmed by Zonix, and this is where things go downhill. Okay, so this game obviously is not a good game. You have to beat up your enemies, which is the obvious thing to do in this game. And you have to try to go to various different places and beat up enemies. And this is a 1-star. It's a very clunky game. And it's not that good of a game. I mean, do you guys feel different about this game? Chuck Norris Super Kicks. Let me know down below. And here's another great example of LGN putting out some of the finest label art. The Uncanny X-Men. Probably the best looking label art out of the bunch that we're showing off here. Looks so good. Makes you really want to rent that game, buy that game, play that game. But is that game actually good? Let's head over to the NES. And let's find out if it's as good as the label art. And then we have the Uncanny X-Men. And you have the X-Men title screen right there. A variety of different characters. And this game right here is a bad superhero game. This game is pretty bad. You pop it in your Nintendo Entertainment System, you go to play it, and immediately you're greeted with frustration. This game is just, I don't know what it's trying to be, man, but this game is just bad. There's all kinds of random crazy stuff going on. It's very hectic, and it's not fun at all. It gets a 1-star. This is a nightmare. What do you guys think? What would you guys rate this game? And here we are playing Tom and Jerry, the movie on the Sega Master System. And if you like Tom and Jerry, well, hey, maybe you're in for a treat. The label art looks pretty awesome. The logo looks pretty awesome. You have Tom and Jerry right there on the label. Love the old Tom and Jerry cartoons. Some of the best cartoons of all time. I wonder how this is going to translate onto the Sega Master System. I never actually played this too much before. It could be a really bad game. It could be a really good game. Maybe it might be a rental. Who knows? This game only released over in Europe and in Brazil. It's the usual stuff. The US got left out of a lot of Sega Master System games, unfortunately. So yeah, I wonder how this is going to stack up. So there's a handful of Tom and Jerry games, but this is one of them I never actually played. So let's head over to the Sega Master System and let's check it out. We've got the Tom and Jerry title screen right there. Pretty cool looking, nice details. And I'm assuming that this is going to be a platformer. So let's check the gameplay out. And as you can see right here, it is a platformer. And right away when I played this game, the controls are quite awkward. It kind of feels like they try to give it like Prince of Persia controls or something. It's definitely weird. You can see I'm actually Tom. And you have to try to chase Jerry. You have to go through all these like weird platforming portions of the game right here, as you can see here. And I kind of wanted to actually like this game. The graphics look okay. The platforming is just strange. And right now we're in the kitchen. There is various different other levels, which you'll see later on. We'll show you what at least one other level looks like. But yeah, this is basically on each level. This is what you're going to be doing. It's awkward platforming. Strange game right here. I'm not sure what to call it. It's not that good. The controls are not that good. It's 1 star. It's just an awkward platformer, and I can't say any more about it than that. I mean, it's a shame that the graphics look okay, but things are just all over the place in this game. And this is an example of what another level looks like. Let me know if you like this game down below. It's not that good in my opinion. Alright, here we have Superman for the Atari 2600. And definitely one of the coolest looking label arts of all time. That label art is actually pretty awesome. It's definitely if you would have walked into a video store 30 years ago, 35 years ago, whenever this came out, would have came across this game inside your video store for rent, I would have been pretty excited, just judging by the label art. Look at that. It looks pretty awesome. Really classic Atari label art. But is the game any good? Let's head over to the Atari 2600 and let's find out. And here we have Superman for the Atari 2600. And right away, you are Superman, and there is the phone booth right there, and now you turn into Superman, and all kinds of crazy stuff is going on here. Everything goes into complete chaos. I have no idea what the hell is going on. This game is super ridiculous. It is definitely doesn't make any sense, and it's a 1 star. But if you enjoy flying around as Superman, I guess you might like the game. I don't know. What do you guys think? This game is pretty bad. Alright, here we are playing Predator 2 for the Sega Master System. Now, this is based off the movie Predator 2, which was a very, very, in my opinion, a mediocre sequel to the original Predator. And I believe that Predator 2 took place in Los Angeles. It was just a weird concept, strange movie compared to the first one. And how will this play out on the Sega Master System? We're gonna have to definitely check that out. The first things first, the label art looks pretty cool. I actually like it a lot. You have the Predator right there. I believe he's standing on top of a skyscraper. It actually looks pretty cool. You have the Predator 2 logo right there on the top, and the Arena Publisher logo right there on the bottom. Everything looks pretty darn cool. This game released in Brazil and Europe. Never released in North America. So let's head over to the Sega Master System and let's check this game out. And here we have the Predator 2 title screen right there, and I guess that's supposed to be Los Angeles. It's a very, very ugly looking version of Los Angeles. And here we have the actual game. And this game right here is like a run and gun type game. You have to run around and rescue the hostages, and you can tell that the main character in the game that you play as it kind of resembles like from the movie. So you can definitely tell that they try to tie the movie to this game to a certain extent, except the only issue with this game is during most of the game you do not see the Predator whatsoever. It kind of feels like you're playing like Renegade or something. This game is literally a run and gun game. Here's level 6, the same as level 1, and you're basically taking out criminals. And it's not till level 7 where you're entering the alien ship and you actually see predators. Which is pretty damn crazy. This game is a 1 star because of that. And like, this is definitely a disappointment for a game for back then. And even if you rented this game, you had to play all the way to level 7 just to see a predator. What the hell is up with that? I mean, that is pretty bad. I mean, what do you guys think down below? You think I'm being a little bit too harsh? Let me know. And here we have Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes, and obviously this is a knockoff, ripoff of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. They probably couldn't get the license, so guess what? They just made this instead. And look at that label art. What the hell is going on here? Is that a bowl? But it's a tomato bowl? That is some bull. Look at that. And there's flying tomato bowls in the background. And he's barging through someone's property. All their walls like completely destroyed. We gotta check this game out. Let's head over to the Atari 2600. Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes for the Atari 2600. Alright, let's look at this game and see what the hell we're dealing with here. This is a crazy Attack of the Killer Tomatoes ripoff. And as you can see here, there is a killer tomato right there. And it looks like you are a syringe needle and you have to go around trying to shoot it. Yeah, that's right, you piece of shit tomato. You better follow the CDC guidelines. This is pretty basic. It's not really much going on here. I can say a 1 star. It's not really that good at all. It's an angry tomato that does not want to get vaccinated. That's all it is. I mean, look at it. Alright, next up we have Adventures of Tron. You know the Tron movie, the Disney movie. Well, here we have the M Network Mattel game right here, and the CDN label looks pretty cool. No label art or anything like that. Let's take a look at the box. And here we have the box right here, Adventures of Tron for your Atari video game system. You have a little bit of a Tron box art right there on the bottom right hand side, nothing too fancy. It's a Mattel game, it has the funny looking Mattel cartridge. Now let's head over to the Atari 2600 and let's try this out. And here we have Adventures of Tron. Mattel and Disney copyright right there on the bottom right hand side. Actually had a little title screen right there, and here we are, just running around and jumping on, trying to avoid being hit by things. And the game wasn't fun. It was a 1 star for me. This wasn't fun at all, and it was just there's a lot of stuff going on. Personally, I did not like this game at all. For me, it was a 1 star. It was pretty frustrating, and I didn't like it at all. I really didn't like it. I mean, what do you guys think? Would you guys rate this higher? Let me know down below. Alright, the next game on the list right here is Back to the Future for the NES. Let's get it out of the box. Let's play some Back to the Future. Alright, here we go. We got the cartridge right here. Back to the Future for the NES. Obviously, this game is obviously not good. I always enjoyed playing this game. I'll probably give it a slightly higher rating than what most people will. But let's go head over to the NES and let's play some Back to the Future. Back to the Future was released in September 1989, and it was developed by Beam Software, published by LJN. As you already know, Back to the Future is one of the greatest movies of all time. Will the game live up to how great the movie was? Obviously not. We all know that this game is not that good, but the label art is definitely classic and probably one of the best label arts on the NES. I love Back to the Future NES label art. Alright, let's go take a look at Back to the Future on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Alright, right away you have the title screen for Back to the Future, and the logo looks actually quite nice on the NES. And then we dive right into the gameplay, and this is where things go downhill. It almost looks like Back to the Future was reskinned from some other game or recycled from some other project. This game would have been much better off not being a Back to the Future game, but something else instead. Some levels are fun, but have nothing to do with Back to the Future whatsoever, and then some levels are absolutely horrible. You take this diner level, for example. I can never get past this diner level, no matter how hard I try. Then eventually this happens. This game gets a 2-star rating. It would have been a disappointing rental back in the day. It's not that good. How would you guys rate this game down below? Alright, we have our next game right here. It's Back to the Future 2 and 3 combo on one cartridge. You get 2 great movies crammed into one NES cartridge. But what happens when you translate that into an NES cartridge? 2 movies into one cartridge. What's going to happen here? I mean, we saw what happened with the first one. The first one was like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. What would you guys rate this game? I am going to probably really be tortured playing this. Let's head over to the NES and let's take a look. Alright, here we have Back to the Future 2 and 3, developed by Beam Software, published by LJN, released in September 1990. Now, right away on the label art, you can definitely tell that LJN put most of the budget into having such a great looking label. The label art on this is so good. Obviously, the game is not. Let's head over to the NES and let's take a look. Alright, here we have the Back to the Future 2 and 3 title screen. It actually looks pretty good. It makes you really want to play this game. Man, I'm so glad I bought this game. It looks like they try to tie the movie to the game right here with the almanac and even a picture of Biff. Look at that. They even got the DeLorean here. Oh man, this looks awesome. What in the world is that a hamburger with feet? I mean, what the hell were they thinking when they programmed this game? Wow, that's a Spiny from Super Mario Brothers. What the hell is that? And I just got killed by a bird. I mean, this is a 1-star. Man, they completely misled me with the title screen and everything. Oh, this would have been horrible to rent. What would you guys rate this game down below? I just want to know. Alright, here we have Back to the Future Part 2 for the Sega Master System. And I love the Back to the Future movies quite a bit. It's definitely some of my favorite 80s movies. Back to the Future 2, it's definitely a great film. And how exactly does this translate into a video game? Well, we already know that Back to the Future on the NES was not so good. And a lot of the other Back to the Future games were not so good either. You can probably expect this one not to be so good. But what exactly are we getting ourselves into here? I mean, let's we're gonna have to head over to the Sega Master System and check this out. But before we do, let's just remember that I personally liked the NES version of Back to the Future, even though it was bad. I couldn't beat the game. It was definitely difficult. I wonder if I'll have the same experience with this game right here. Let's head over and let's find out. Now, right away, when you turn the Sega Master System on with Back to the Future 2, you're greeted with some classic Back to the Future logos right there and the nice background music on the title screen. So far, so good. I love what I see right here. This is actually quite nice illustrations. Even better, right here, we definitely have illustrations with a DeLorean flying through it like a time machine. Now this little animation right here with the DeLorean. Now that is pretty awesome. I like that a lot. You even have Doc right there standing outside the DeLorean. Now this is where the game starts right here. And you're using the hoverboard, so I'll give them credit. They're definitely trying to tie it to the movie. And you just definitely still have random objects that you have to dodge in the road, and there's a Biff's gang right there. They just beat the crap out of you. And the opening level is pretty hard. But if you do manage to get past the opening level, you have this level right here, which is just really weird. I don't quite. I believe this is the house that Marty McFly's family lived in. I'm not sure, but it's a weird level. If you get past that, then you have this level right here. You have to actually walk around and get attacked by barrels and Michael Jackson. Is that Michael Jackson?
Who's there?
They could be tied to the movie, but I really don't know. There you go. I mean, if you make it past that, you have to actually complete this puzzle right here. And this is when Marty McFly played guitar at that little school concert. It's a random puzzle. I'm not a big fan of throwing in a random puzzle in a game like this, but you have 3 minutes to complete it. And if you can manage to complete that, then you can move on to the next level right here. Now, this level seemed to be the easiest level. This is the final level, I believe. And this level resembled the NES version of Back to the Future with this random objects over the place and people. Except the set vertical is horizontal. So it's much like the first level in the game. And if you beat it, you get the To Be Continued Back to the Future 3. And you have the DeLorean flying off into to the background right there. This game, I'm going to give it 1 star because here we go. Once you complete the game, they throw you back into the first level right here. And that is pretty annoying, and I really didn't like the game that much at all. Alright, we're going to be playing a little bit of Back to the Future Part 3 for the Sega Master System. And talk about fancy looking label art box art right there. What do we have here? It looks like not only do we have the Back to the Future 3 image right there in the center, but the border and the side of the box. It looks very, very fancy looking. Look at that. It's definitely much more fancier than your average Sega Master System game. So, as most of you already know, Back to the Future 3 on 16-bit consoles suck. But how does it stack up on the Sega Master System? We're going to find out. But before we do that, let's take a good look at that box art. That is some of the coolest looking box art on the Sega Master System. Not a big fan of this movie. I love Back to the Future 1 and 2. This movie, not so much. It was okay. Get ready, we're going to be playing Back to the Future Part 3 on the Sega Master System. Alright, right away we have the Back to the Future 3 title screen right here. And the music in the background and the title screen look and sound pretty good. So far, so good. Let's see what we have here. And before you start the game, you have a little, some images, a few images from the actual movie itself. And that right there would be my facial expression for playing this game. And here we are, first level, much like the 16-bit versions. We are riding a horse being attacked by, I believe those are birds. Yeah, I'm not sure what those things are, but they're killer bees or birds, something. And we have boulders coming out of nowhere trying to hit us. What is this, Indiana Jones? And we have a freaking tomahawk. I mean, look at this. This is Tatanka from the WWF is throwing tomahawks at us. Hey, what the hell? The chances of you making it past the first level is pretty slim, so get used to seeing this screen right here. I wish I was Mary Poppins. I bet the ass of that horse that he wishes he was shitty shitty bang bang. Once we get past that point. All of a sudden you have a gravestone that pops up here for player Clayton. What about the horse? Where's the horse gravestone? But if you're lucky to make it past this level, you get to play this level over here. We get to throw plates. And this level is somewhat easier than the first level. The first level sucks. It's like very, very difficult. I hate the first level on this game, no matter what system I play. This level is easier to play, but still, it's not really that fun. But you can see how it looks here, and then if you can make it past that, there is another level where you're on a train. And again, this level is okay. It's not as hard as the first level. The game is definitely a 1-star. This game is not that good. It's not entertaining at all. What do you guys think? Comment down below and let me know what you think. This would have been a bad rental back in the day.